Hi everybody, and welcome to my sewing room. Actually, I'm in another part of the house right now because I'm trying to keep quiet. It's Sunday afternoon, and sometimes you got to go in and close the door. That's just the way it is. I'm Rosemary, and this is Enchanting Rosemary Sewing and Embroidery. Okay, so last week when I put up a video, I had made the comment that I wanted to continue with PE Design 11 software. I've done a couple videos. I've had some good remarks about it, so I thought it would be fun to do another episode of PE Design software. There's a part of PE Design that a lot of people don't know exists, and that is the Design Center, which is a completely different window that you go into that you can take a picture and break it down to an outline and fill it with color, like using a coloring book app, and then turn it into an embroidery. It's kind of fun, and I thought it would be fun to show you how to use that, so that's what we're going to do. So let's go to the computer. So I am in PE Design software. This is the way you open it up and you get layout and editing, which is where I'm at. And what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way over here up into this far right corner and see where it says options. Click on options, and then there's something that says Design Center, and we're going to click on Design Center, and it's going to open another window, and it tells you right here that you could select an image or a line image you've already been working on, or a PEM, which is basically also an image that you've been working on. But I'm just going to hit cancel here, and then I'm going to go up here. Let's maximize this. I'm going to go up here to where it says image and open from file. So before we get started doing something that's fairly simple, I want to give you an idea of what happens when you pick something that's probably not going to work. This one right here is my logo. You've seen it a whole bunch of times before. There it is. It's got a lot of lines, and it's kind of pixelated in here because of the size it was originally created at. If I zoom in by sliding the bar and I choose black, saying that that's what I want you to make into an outline is the black, and then say preview, I just got nothing. I can sometimes clean that up just by changing the tone and take out the noise reduction, but I'm still getting nothing. So that image is not going to work for me. I probably need to get out a pen and do something that's more like a very simple line image and then turn it into a logo, which I have every intention of doing, and I'll show it to you when I finally get it figured out. But that's not going to work. So I'm going to hit cancel, and then I'm going to say, let's open another image. So open from, now I have taken some things off the internet that I've used to make things, and this one is one I stole from the internet. Let's say open, and I'm making a doll, and I'm making just this cute little cartoon face to create the doll, but I'm doing it in layout and editing by tracing it. But I thought it would be fun to see what would happen if I tried to just make this into an embroidery. So what you want to do is you want to, where it says minus and plus, you want to zoom in so that you get close to the black. Hit the black and then say preview and see what you get. That's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible. So let's try. I'm going to move this down. It took the blue out, but it clarified the rest of it. So I'm going to hit this again and say preview. That's even better. I wonder if I say detect outlines. No, that's not good. I don't want to do that. So let's take that off. So let's do a noise reduction. Oh, that's too much. That's taking the colors out of it. Okay, I don't want to do that. Let's move this maybe in just a little bit. Hit the black and say preview. No. Hit the black and say preview. Okay, so you can see that I probably have some work ahead of me. I'm going to have to go, I'm going to go up to, I have to say okay first. duh. Then I have the pin option and I have a zoom option. So I can zoom up and I can get really close, and then I'm going to get the pin and I am going to redraw these lines. So you can see that that obviously would not be something that I could do quickly, but the time I put into it will be worth it, because when I'm all done, I will end up with an embroidery that I like once I get everything cleaned up the way I want it to. I'm not going to do that right now. I just wanted you to know that, yes, you can use images that you've got from other places, but it's not quite as easy as some people. I've been in this business a long time, and I'll tell you, I've seen people who go, oh, yeah, you pay the money for the software, and you are going to just be an expert at drawing, and it's just a matter of pushing a button, and it does it. It doesn't work that way. So I was trying to zoom in some more, and it's not letting me. So I'm just going to draw this. That's closed, and now see his eye needs to be closed. And if I right click, the pin turns white, and then I can come up here. I hope on the video that the pin actually turned white. I'm not sure whether it did or not. But then I can erase the parts that I want to erase and close the ones that I want to close, and I can clean it all up and make it into a fun embroidery. So, but anyway, so let's go. New line image. No, I don't want to save this. So I am going to open, and I'm going to take one of the ones that Brother gives you for free. So if I click on the down arrow and I go to Documents, PE Design 11. Oh no, that's wrong. I don't want to do that. I want to go to Windows C, and then Program Files, and then Brother, then PE Design 11, and then Clip Art. So in the Clip Art, they have all these fun little clip arts, and these are BMPs, and they're really clean, and they always come out good and easy to use. So I always think they're almost like a lie, because you're not going to find a picture other than these that are this perfect, but a lot of times it works. I'm going to double click on Baby Days, and I'm going to double click on this. Now I got this cute little bear in an airplane, and what I want to do with it is I want to turn to a line image. So I'm going to click this first flower, and it's going to give me that same screen I had a minute ago, and I'm going to zoom in till I'm really close so that I can just touch the black. I only want black, because if I pick white, it's going to fill in the white. So I'm going to take the white check mark off the white, and then I'm going to hit preview. Now that's a pretty nice image. Nice and clean, no crazy broken up spots or anything. That looks exactly the way I want it to. So I'm going to say, okay. So now we are in, we've got a clean image here, but if there was something I didn't like and I wanted to change, like for instance, let's hit the plus sign and zoom in really close here. Here's his little scarf. Maybe I don't want the scarf right here to have that many stripes. I can hit the eraser, and I can erase any part I want to erase, like this. I can also undo that, so it's back again. Another thing I can do is if I want the if I want to disconnect it in a certain place, I'm trying to think of where I might want to disconnect it so it would outline differently. I could just very quickly erase just a connector line right here and then connect it again later, but it wouldn't be connected to the wing anymore. If I erased it here and erased it here, the wing would be a different piece, and then I could outline it differently if I wanted to, with a different outline. I'm going to leave it all together, and I'm going to hit to figure handle, which is the next flower over from original image. Now the next box that opens up is the thinning process, which means it will thin it down. Now it's on less right now. I'm going to put it all the way over to much and say okay, and that doesn't look too bad. But if I go back to the line image, and I say to figure handle, and then I move it to less. Then what's going to happen is when I say okay, it just doubled everything because it thinned it out, did something really weird. So you kind of sometimes leave it exactly where it was. When you go back, it says delete all of the editing figure data. So here you want to say yes, because if you say no, even if you've been working on this and trying to clean it up a little bit and then decide this is too much work, I'm going to go back to the beginning. What happens is it will bring the next image in right on top of this one. And then the next one on top of this. Take my word for it, I've done it. Where suddenly you realize that you have 8 different images on top of each other and it outlines 8 times. So always say yes if you're going to go back to your original image. You want to get rid of anything that was there before. So I'm going to do it again. To figure handle, I'm going to leave it right where it's at. Now right here is where it's going to decide how big of a hoop I'm going to make this into. I can hit design page settings and I can say, no, it's not going to be a 9.5 by 14. It's going to be a 5 by 7 hoop. And then I'm going to say, okay. And it'll take me back to the thinning process. And I can say, let's make it small in the hoop. No, I want to fill the hoop with it. And then I'm going to say, okay. Now I'm in the next step. This next step is where you get to clean up all of these weird things that are going crazy right here. So I am going to come up here into this corner and I'm going to hit select point. And now all of a sudden I have all those little edit boxes around there. So I'm going to hit the plus sign and I'm going to zoom in. And what I don't like is all of a sudden, because of the way it outlined it, I have all of these weird angles in my scarf and I don't want them there. So if I hit the select point, I can pull these out. I click on them so they turn red and I pull them out. I click on this one and I pull it out like this. This one here in the middle, I don't want that there. So I'm just going to hit delete on my keyboard and it goes away. I'll try and smooth this out a little bit here. Smooth this one out just by pushing it out just a little bit. Click on this one, maybe move it out here. So I can spend a long time cleaning this up and making it look the way I want it to look. So move this one down this way. Okay. The red ones always mean you have 3 coming together. That's why they're red. And even though I can click on this one and hit delete, click on this one and hit delete, I cannot delete the red ones. It won't let me. I hit delete and it beeps at me and says, nope, you can't do that. So if I wanted to take the red one out for some reason, what I have to do is I have to right click and split at point. So now one of these is not connected anymore to this one and it's not red anymore. So now I could actually select this one and hit delete and it'll go away. And I'm going to hit this one and hit delete and now that went away. So now there's no longer a red box here because there isn't 3 together and I took that line out. So you can take a line out by doing that, by splitting at point. I have done that before because when it read 2 lines there and I discovered I had 2 lines when I moved it, so I had to split at point to get rid of one of the lines and get it the way you want to. Like for instance, I don't think I like the fact that his ear and this scarf connect right here. That's not good. So I'm going to right click and split at point. Turn that one black. Right click, split at point. And then see if I can find the extra one. So this one here, I can hit delete on my keyboard and get rid of that stripe. Turn it black. You turn it black by hitting, by left clicking on it. There it goes. Delete. So that one's gone. And then this ear here, I want to connect these two together so that they make the ear. So the way I do that is I hold down my Alt key on your computer keyboard. Hold the Alt key. And then you get a hand. This mouse is should have turned to a hand, which it probably isn't on the video, but you will see that you get a hand. And then when you hold it over the other point, it has a red square, and then let go, and they'll connect. But you got to do it exactly right. So that didn't work. I'm going to do it again. Alt. I'm going to hold it till I get a red square and let go. And now it's connected. So now let's make this ear so that it's all one. I'm going to right click, split it point. Right click, split it point. Now what I want to do is I want to select this one and hold it over this one. Hold down the Alt key and connect those two. Whoops, that didn't work. It happens to me quite a bit. The first time I do it, it just, for some reason, it doesn't connect. I am going to turn that one black and hit delete. And then I'm going to turn this one, put it over this one, hold down my Alt key, I think it worked that time. Yep, there's my ear. Now this whole one here is not connected anywhere. No, it is. It's connected right there. We're going to split it point. And then I'm going to come back up here to my select key. That whole part is selected. I can hit the delete, and that entire scarf is completely gone. So that's a way that you can adjust the picture the way you want it to be. So this is a problem right here, his face, right? So what I want to do is I could redraw this whole thing if I wanted to, but a lot of people, you just don't know where the original was. So the way that you fix that is if you go to View, click on View, and there's a thing that says Modify Template, and I'm going to slide it over, and I can see the original bear underneath it. So now I can select this and kind of move it a little bit and say, I see where that's supposed to be. So I'm going to go Figure Handle, select point, magnifying glass, come up here, select point. I have the boxes, so I'm going to move them out. Whoops. Oh, come on. There. Click on this one. Move it out. If I click right in the center of this part, it will give me another point. So don't be afraid to add more points if you need it to be more of a circle and less of a crazy ragged shape. Now this part is a real mess, obviously. So I'm going to move this down. Move this down. Come on. Move this over. Move this down. There we go. Click in the middle of this one, pull it down. Pull this one down. Maybe make that rounder. So you can see, again, I need to work on it a little bit. I need to put a little time into it. When I first got PE Design 5, you had to keep hitting save every 5 or 10 minutes, because if you didn't and something happened, like you got a message that says, you have incurred a problem and Windows needs to close. You just worked for an hour and a half on something that's going to go away. Now PE Design 11 will save your work for you probably every 5 minutes, so you don't have to worry about that. So That looks pretty good. I'd still work on the eyes a little bit and some stuff like that, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to come back and I'm going to say zoom all, bring it back out again. Now, let's say I cleaned this all up just the way I wanted to. This point isn't there. Everything looks the way I want it to. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sew setting. Now this is the fun part. Now that you've cleaned it all up, this is just a matter of hitting colors. So I can go over here and I can say a region is always your fill, line is always your outline. So I'm going to hit the outline tool. I'm going to say I want that to be black, but I don't want it to be a satin stitch. I want it to be a running stitch. And then I'm going to click on it. See how everything turns red? That means it changed that to black, a black running stitch. And then each one of these, I'm going to click on those as well. And I changed those too. So now I'm going to hit the region fill. Region fill is a regular old fill stitch. I can click on the color and I can brother embroidery, let's see. What am I doing wrong? View, sew setting, color. I don't know why I'm not getting the color one over here like it's supposed to be. Sometimes when they change things, realistic stitch simulator to figure out, listen, no, I don't want to do any of that yet. Sewing attributes, that's what I was trying to get. Reference window. So let's go back to sew setting. Let's hit this. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think if I right click in the middle, there it is right there. There's your spool of thread. They keep changing this till sometimes even I get confused. Okay, so there's my thread that I'm going to use to fill it with. It says Brother Embroidery. You can click this down and you can pick a different one. You could pick Madeira. You could pick Sulky. You could pick Gutermann. You can pick Isacord. Should have Floriani in here too. Yeah, there's Floriani. The trouble with that is there's all of these colors to choose from, which might get a little confusing. So that's why I actually like to use Brother, even though I don't have a lot of Brother threads. So let's go back up here. We're going to go Brother Embroidery. So I have less threads to choose from, and it's easier for me to pick colors. I want to make my bear brown, so I'm going to click brown. In layout and editing, you select the item and then change the color. In this one, you pick the color and then click in the space, just like that. So there's my little bear, and I'm going to make a blue airplane. So I want to click there and click there, and I think I want gray to be here, and make this green, and this green, and this green, and this green, and this green. So, and then maybe even that green. And then I have his little scarf, which I could make red, 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 red. Don't make the mistake of not filling in the white with white. We need to click on that, make it white. And then I want to make his nose black. It says embroidery black, and his eyes black. So he looks really cute, but before we go and finish him up, there's a couple things I need to do. One thing is I don't want these eyes to sew with an outline. If I use my plus sign and I zoom in really close, you will see that it'll leave a hole there, and in the hole, when it sews the brown around it, it could leave a little piece of a gap right there while it's pulling and everything. I don't want it to do that. Some of the pre-made ones that you buy are perfect and you think I can do that, and then you do it yourself and it doesn't work. So there's a trick to making this sew over the top of that, and the way you do it is right here where it says hole sew, click on that and then click on the brown. and it will show you. Okay, where are you? There's the eye right there. That's the eye spot. So I'm going to click on that and fill it. And then I'm going to go over here. I don't know why it's so zoomed in. I wonder. Let's do this. Let's go zoom all and then do whole sew and click here. Now I can see it. I don't know what the heck I did. That one and that one I want to fill in. So now the face is all filled in. And when the machine sews all the brown together and this sews the eyes and nose on top, I never have to worry about it being a gap. So I'm going to say, okay. The other thing that I may want to do in this is I may want to change the order just a little bit. And there is a sewing order. They won't let you do the outline differently. There's a line right here, but I could change the sewing order just a little bit. I could say that I want this to sew the little bear last and move him over here and drop him right there. And that was sewn last. It messed that up because that's where his face is at. Be careful. Know exactly what you're doing when you change the order of the way it sews. So make sure that you're doing it exactly right. So I can say okay on that, and that is coming out okay. The other thing I might want to do is when I click on this, the region sew, it says a fill stitch, right? So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say I want to do a programmable fill stitch, and then come over here. See where here, this is your sewing attributes button. I have the option of a programmable fill. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to zoom down here, and I want my bear to have this wave that looks more like a knitted wave or something. Say okay. You can see what it looks like. And then my color is still black up here, right? Right here is black. If I click on the bear right now, it's going to turn black. So I want to right click on him and turn it back to the way I had it, and then say that I want to do a programmable fill. And then I want to click on this again. And I can't tell you how many times I've done this where I've chosen it and realized it was the wrong color. And I'd rather do it in this order so that I know I've got the same brown. And now I'm going to left click and left click. I'm not going to change the ears. I am just going to change the body. And then I'm going to say realistic preview. And you can see that I've changed his body so it looks more like a weave. So that's a little bit more fun. So you can do that. I didn't change the ears. The eyes and the nose and the mouth are sewn on top, which is exactly what I wanted. And in realistic preview, he looks pretty cute. So I'm going to turn that off. The last thing I need to do after I've done all of this, just so you know, I can actually right click on the blue, turn the color to blue. See, it just turned blue here. Change this to a concentric circle if I want to. That's kind of a weird fill, but let's see what happens. This is the concentric circle where the direction it's going to go. So I'm going to tell it to come over here. And then we're going to say realistic preview. It didn't really do much of anything, but it's an option. It's something that you can do. Oh, let's do this. Go out of realistic preview. Let's right click on the gray and let's change that to a concentric, to a radial stitch. And then when I left click on that, I get that same box. Let's pull the radial stitch that direction. And then look at it under realistic preview. See, now you can actually see the way that pulled all the stitches in that direction. So that one was kind of fun. Some of them, it doesn't make that much difference. Some of them it does. So anyway, so here's my little bear. Now the last thing I need to do before I get ready to sew, this is a PEM, personal embroidery something. I don't know what the M stands for. PES stands for personal embroidery stitch. PEL stands for personal embroidery line image. PEM stands for something. But anyway, this is not going to embroider in your machine. If you save it now to your stick, you're not going to get an embroidery. It's not going to show you anything. You have to send it to layout and editing first. So up here, see where it says send to layout and editing? We are going to send that to layout and editing. Now it's just open my layout and editing. It's very important what size hoop you have here, because if I had a smaller hoop, it would not bring it in the full size. It would say right here 75% or something. It says 100, which means it's going to fit. It's asking me if I want to bring in only the outlines or all the stitches and what direction I want it. And then I'm going to say import. And there's my design. Oh, I must have had this at a 5x7 because it filled the whole thing. So, okay, well, that's fine. So there's my little bear. There's my stitching order, the way I set it up, exactly the way it is. And now I can save it because now it's a PES. And now I can embroider this little bear out. So that was a lot of information. Hopefully you can go back and watch it again and do it again and practice it so that you know how to change everything out the way you want to change it out to whatever it is you want it to be. And you can have some fun with it. So that's all I'm going to do for you today. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.